podcast powered by Live Media. So grateful to have you guys here. This week is just going to be about your overall wellness, mainly your mental and emotional state. So, this will be just like a bonus episode before we get into season 3. So, this will be the bridge from season 2 with the boys, and then now going into season 3 with my ladies. So this one is going to be called Let's Get Into It. Into it, whenever you hear it, you're like, oh, they're into it. It's mostly about drama or something crazy. But this week, I want to get into you, your core. So I have 3 challenge questions that I want you to just think on and marinate, and I'll go into detail with each of those. And then, as always, comment, like, share, subscribe. And I would love to connect with you. So please tap in. You can follow me on Instagram at _LIV_your life spelled out, or _LIV WELLYOGI on Instagram. Both of those pages will lead to the other, super intertwined. I would love to connect with you there. And then TikTok is also Live Well Yogi. So LIVWELLYOGI. So let's get into it. So the first one is what's your healing status? So as you know, as we go through life, we have trauma, we have things and difficult events that happen that make us react and kind of navigate through life a certain way. So to combat those, we have to heal and just kind of come to grips with that. Learn, unlearn, shed, renew, release, all those type of things. So when we get to talking about your healing status, imagine a wound in your hand, maybe like a 3rd-degree burn. So, it pierces the outer layer and it goes deep. So first you have inflammation when there's a wound, then you have proliferation, and then you have what's called remodeling. So if you don't have those stages take place in the manner that is effective to the wound, that will help that wound close and safely and not be infected or anything like that, then you can heal, right? So just as that wound heals, your trauma, your life experiences, all those things cause for you to heal in those manners. And if you don't heal, then you just let everything get in that wound, let it get infected, and let it not only affect you, but affect people around you. So, number 1, what is your healing status? That can be, I am going through healing, I'm seeking help, which whatever manner is appropriate for your life, or you're acknowledging that you need to heal. That could be the first step. Or you could be at the end of that healing where you're getting over those things and releasing and, renewing into all that you are. So just marinate on that. Determine what your healing status is. That could be case by case basis, depending on whatever trauma or life experiences you have. You could be at a healing stage that is different for one thing than another in your life. So that is the first question. What is your healing status? For me, I would like to say that I am just healing. A lot of things surface and resurface as you go through life. Things happen, you're like, oh, I need to work on that. So I'm just in the discovery phase of figuring out exactly what route I need to take, what I need to work on to make me overall better for all those around me and myself included. Second one is, what is your maturity age level? In the US, we know that like 18, you're an adult, so law-wise, it's pretty much in that realm. However, just because you're an adult does not mean you are mature. So it's some 40-year-olds that have the 18-year-old mature level. So just think about that and ask yourself what mature level you are. Keep in mind that different situations may cause for different mature levels. You might have to just bite the bullet on some and be super mature, where in other areas you don't have to be as much. So just navigate that and figure out what is your maturity age level, and dig deep to figure out why it might be that way in that moment or in life at that season. Just figure out why is that your maturity level. The third one is going to be triggers. You know, I love Janae, and that song is pretty great. I sing Triggered like I wrote it, okay? So, triggers can come from past trauma or experiences we talked about before earlier in this video. You have different types. You have a truth trigger, you have relationship, identity, you have other types too. Those are just 3 that I found. The effects of trigger could be anger, anxiety, nervousness, overwhelmness, loneliness. Those are like major ones that I've seen a lot of, including myself and others around me. And then you have just something, a trigger is something that affects your emotional state. So figure out like what your triggers are. It could be where a situation happens and it reminds you of something that happened in the past, and it brings up anything that is maybe unwanted or unwarranted in that moment. It could be like, oh, my ex used to do this, and then now my dude is doing this, and that just kind of brings up unresolved, unhealed trauma, and that could be a trigger to where you are in that. Can be anything from if you had abandonment issues as a child and then you get fired at work or something like that. Like, it literally could be anything, and you'll be surprised what causes our triggers to kind of manifest into the things that we kind of did not expect. So I would just challenge you in this question. The what are your trigger questions is to identify your triggers, figure out what they are, how you can combat them, healthy ways to acknowledge them and kind of go through them, and balance and maintain to stay centered when you are triggered, right? Because it's gonna happen. It's kind of life. As you're healing and as you're going through the process of becoming better, like, you're gonna be triggered, unfortunately. So just kind of navigating and figure out what works and figuring out how to combat that, and how to just be better overall. I just really want to do this video because I know in life we are, especially in our generation, we're learning and unlearning a lot of things. And I think at this moment we have to identify what we need to unlearn. We have to identify what needs to be healed. We have to identify what needs our attention for us to be better, so that we don't spill that unresolved healing, trauma, negativity, all those things into other people and other situations that do not call for that. As always, again, tap, share, subscribe, comment, like, all of those great things. I am a certified doula, registered yoga teacher. I am a wellness advocate, all those great things that go to your overall holistic needs. I can be reached at 470-310-2203 or emailed at livewellyogi, livewellyogi@gmail.com. Look forward to connecting with you. And before I go off, I want to show this special Live Well sign. This glare is really kind of holding me back. One of my great friends made it, and I love that she made it in my signature Live Well color. So I just wanted to shout out to Tiffany at Tiff's Custom Creations, and I will plug her page in so that you can order from her. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Again, stay hydrated, be you, live well, and I look forward to connecting with you more.